Welcome to the training module on the Cisco IP 8811 phone, the new phone and system for MCAP employees. The agenda for this training module is as follows. The first segment of the module will provide for an explanation of each of the physical features of the new phone. Next, we will move on to commonly used features and tools that employees may access via the Cisco phone. In particular, we will cover dialing phone numbers, answering calls, placing a call on hold, switching between calls, transfer calls, call forward, and call conferencing. We will then turn our attention to the voicemail system and associated features. The purpose of this training module is to introduce you to the Cisco IP 8811 phone to be used by MCAP employees. In the first segment of this presentation, we will take a closer look at each of the physical features that make up the Cisco phone. Each phone is equipped with an LCD screen for display. You may have a screen which comes in color. However, the majority of the phones used by MCAP employees will have a gray display. At the top of the screen, the current time, date, your phone line, and extension number are displayed. Please be mindful, the screen is not a touch screen. It is merely to display necessary information and prompts. To access or control the prompts on the screen, you would use the action interface buttons at the side of the screen. Action buttons will correspond to the prompts on the screen. For example, action buttons can be used to open a line or pick up another line. The prompts will change to allow the user to access necessary options depending on the use and activity of the phone. For example, there is an action button that corresponds to a symbol of a clock. The user would press the clock button to access the call history on the phone. That same button may change to a picture of a handset with an arrow over top of it. This symbol indicates that there was a missed call. The user can press the action button to view the missed call, and then the screen will return to the call history. Of note, there are colored LED lights which reflect the call state. The call state ultimately dictates which prompts are available to you to view on the screen. For example, flashing amber would indicate a ringing call, and solid green would indicate a connected call. Another option to access the prompts on the screen is via the soft key buttons located just below the LCD screen. These keys are dynamic. They will change depending on the status and activity of the phone. For example, when the phone is idle, the soft key will correspond with options to make a new call or to redial. When the phone is in use, the soft keys will provide you with the options to hold, make a new call, and transfer. The last soft key, which you will notice is marked by 2 dots, is the More button. The user may press the More button to view additional soft key options. Additional options include Conference, Park, Decline, and Show Detail. The concept of the changing prompts on the screen is due to the fact that not every function is necessary to be displayed for every situation. The Cisco phone will present the user with the most suitable functions as dictated by the use of the phone. Of note, you will notice that there is some redundancy between the soft keys and the hard keys. This is as much to suit the preference of the user as it is for functionality. For example, the action buttons will provide the user with the ability to place a call on hold. There is also a dedicated Hold Hard Key button next to the dial pad. The navigation pad and select button allow the users to scroll through calls and menu items displayed on the screen. Oftentimes, when the user is logging into the phone or accessing the directory, there are numerous fields that you may have to navigate. This feature allows the user to use the arrows on all 4 sides of the pad to navigate to the desired choice or option. The Select button in the middle of the pad allows you to select the highlighted item which you have chose. There are a series of hard key buttons which I will draw your attention to. The End Call button ends a connected call session or sessions. The Hold button, of course, places a call on hold. For this function, as well as many of the other functions corresponding to the physical key on the phone, we will discuss the actual use or options of the specific function later in this module. The conference button displays a picture of multiple people, symbolizing a conference. Pressing this button allows the user to create conference calls. The transfer button enables the user to transfer a call to another person or phone. The symbol for this button appropriately displays a person with an arrow pointing towards them, indicating that that call is being directed to another person. The speaker button is marked by a picture of a single speaker. The user can press this button to talk hands-free. The handset would remain on its cradle. When the phone is in speaker mode, there will be a light to indicate this function is being used. The user can press the headset button to talk hands-free with the aid of a headset. When the phone is in headset mode, there will again be a light to indicate this function is being used. The mute button will make your end of the call silent. You may still hear the caller you are on the line with, however, they will not be able to hear anything on your end of the call. The volume control allows the user to adjust the call volume if used when the handset is off the hook. It will also control the volume of the speaker and handset when in use. When the phone is not in use, the volume button controls the volume of the ringtone. In addition, the volume control is also session-based. What this means is the volume will return to a normal level at the conclusion of each call. Let's presume you were on a call with a customer and for whatever reason you have to raise the volume of the call to its highest level. Upon concluding that call, the volume will reset to its normal level, so the volume is not blasting in your ear when you pick up the phone the next time. The Directories button has an image that looks like a phone book. The user can press this button to access contact lists. There are two types of contact lists available to the user: the corporate directory and the personal directory. Use the navigation pad to select which directory you wish to access and press the Select button. Enter the first or last name of the desired contact using the dial pad. You can toggle between lines by continuing to press a number key. If you need to backspace, locate the soft key that has two arrows pointing backwards and press that key. Once you have located the person you would like to call, press dial and the phone will automatically call that number. The Applications button allows the user to access many of the same features as you can reach via the action buttons located next to the screen. For example, option number 1 when you press the Application button is the call history. You may also select an option which opens up a further menu. For example, if you select Settings, you will be presented with a list, providing further access to options, accessories, running applications, etc. To select the desired option, you can use the navigation pad to highlight the option you want, or you can use the dial pad and press the number to the corresponding option you need. The Message button allows you to access the voicemail system. It is essentially a speed dial to your voicemail. You will be prompted to enter your PIN. We will discuss the voicemail system in greater detail later in this module. The Return button simply allows the user to return to the previous screen or menu. The phone also has an indicator light located at the top of the headset. When there is an incoming call, the light strip will display a red flashing light alerting the user. If there is a new voicemail, a solid green light will be displayed. The buttons that line the left-hand side of the screen are called the line or feature buttons. As the name suggests, these buttons control the phone lines. Each button corresponds with the phone line, speed dial, or calling feature. The position of these buttons can be reversed with the Sessions button position. In other words, as with the action and soft key buttons, the prompts that appear on the screen, which are assigned to each button, may change depending on the use and activity of the phone. We will now move on to provide an overview of the calling features of the Cisco IP phone. Included among the features and functions we will discuss: holding calls, handling multiple lines, call forwarding, ad hoc conferencing, how to view and access the directory, and how to change your user preferences. You will see on the screen the procedure for dialing out or making a call internally. If you are making an internal call from one IP phone to another, you would simply dial the 4-digit extension. If you have a kick phone and you want to call a Cisco phone, you would dial 8 and then the 4-digit extension. If you are trying to connect with a kick phone from a Cisco phone, you would dial 44 and then the extension. If you are dialing out, making a local call, you would dial 9 and then the local number. For a long distance call, you would dial 9, then dial 1, then the number. Should there be an emergency requiring emergency assistance, you can dial 911 or 9911. In addition to the dialing rules above, a user may dial out by using the redial button to call the number or extension you called last. You may access a number via the directory button or your call history and dial out directly from either one of those features. And you may dial out directly using pre-programmed speed dial buttons. Answering calls on the Cisco phone is relatively straightforward. To answer the phone with the handset, you simply pick up the handset. To answer the phone with the headset, press the Unlit Headset button. To answer a phone using the speaker, you have a few options. You may press the speaker button, press the Answer soft key, or select a flashing line button. When a call is coming in, the flashing line button will blink in red. When the call is active, the light will be a solid green. If a second call comes in, another flashing red light will appear. You may place the first call on hold and select the flashing line button to speak to the second caller on speaker. Each phone call will ring for approximately 10 seconds. If you are not logged in, however, the call will go right to voicemail. Should you not wish to pick up the call, you may decline the call. Declining a call will allow you to redirect an incoming call while not on a call, or redirect a second call coming in while already on another call. To decline a call, simply press the Decline Call soft key. When a call comes in, your soft keys will provide you with different prompts. The first soft key will provide you with the option to answer the call. The second soft key will provide you with the option to decline the call. If you are declining the call simply because you had not intended to pick up the call, but you don't want to listen to the ringtone, you may wish to consider just temporarily turning down the volume on the phone. Some callers may be sensitive or perceptive to the fact that you have declined their call. Simply turning down the volume will avoid any potential thought by the caller that you consciously decline their call. Please keep in mind that should you decline a call or allow a call to go to voicemail, you can no longer pick up that line to speak to the caller. Once a call switches into the voicemail system, you can no longer access the caller. The caller will be given the option to leave a message, which you will be notified of, or circle back to the main line. To place a call on hold, the user has a few options. You can either press the dedicated hold button on the phone or press the hold soft key button just below the screen. To resume the call, press the resume option from your soft keys or press the line that is on hold. We will now address how to manage multiple lines. Should you be on the phone with a caller and another caller rings in on your primary line, you will hear a beep or indicator in your ear. The call will appear on the second line with a flashing light. The flashing light will be orange. Should you wish to accept the second call, you simply press the flashing orange button. The caller you were originally on the line with would automatically be placed on hold. As a courtesy, you should inform the first caller you are placing them on hold prior to doing so. Once you hang up with the second caller or you decide to place the second call on hold, press the resume button to return to the first caller. If you have multiple calls on hold, they will be listed on your screen. Use the navigation button to scroll to the desired number and either press the resume or hold button as desired. You may also place a call on hold, select another line, and dial out if needed. Moving on to call forwarding. The user has two options when forwarding calls: forwarding all calls to another number or forwarding your calls directly to your voicemail. For both options, you would need to press the Forward All soft key button, which is located along the bottom of the screen. To forward all calls to another number, you would first leave the handset on the cradle. You would then press the Forward All button and enter your target extension. This could be either an internal number or an external number. If it is an external number, you would dial 9 and then the number. As well, if it is an external number, it must be a local number. So if you were forwarding calls to another branch office of MCAP, you would need to use the internal extension, not the actual long-distance forward number associated to the location. Once you have set your phone to call forward mode, no calls will come into that line. When a call is placed to your line, your phone will not ring at all. You are still able to call out, however. Please note, the call forward option is line specific, so if you have multiple lines, you will need to set up the call forward option for each line. When you are receiving calls from a user who has forwarded their calls to you, your phone screen will display the prompt, "Receiving calls from," followed by their contact information. It will also show the contact information of the user who has forwarded their calls to you. So when a call comes in, you will know both the contact information of the person making the call as well as the information of the user who forwarded the call to you. This allows you to address the caller appropriately when fielding the call. "Hello, I see that your call has been forwarded to me by David. How may I help you?" When you wish to stop using the call forward option, simply locate and press the Call Forward Off soft key. Should you wish to forward all incoming calls to your voicemail, again, press the Forward All soft key on your phone. Then press the Messages hard key button located to the left of your dial pad. All incoming calls will now be sent directly to your voicemail. Call forwarding involves having all incoming calls automatically transferred to another location or voicemail. Transferring a call requires the user actually pick up the phone call and pass the live call to another person. When transferring a call, you would have a live caller on the line and you would use either the Transfer soft key button or the dedicated transfer button on your phone. You may recall the dedicated transfer button has a person with an arrow pointing at them. Upon pressing the transfer button, the caller is automatically on hold. At this point, you can dial any number where you wish the call be transferred to, whether it be an internal extension or an external number. You have the option of waiting for the recipient to answer, or you can pass the caller along right away. The former is called a warm transfer, where the recipient would answer. You can explain that you have someone on the line for them and ask them if they are ready to take the call. The first line of your display will show the caller who is on hold, and the second line will show the user who is waiting for the transfer. Your soft keys will display the options Transfer, Cancel, and Swap. In the case where the user who is to receive the transfer call cannot take the call for whatever reason, you simply press Cancel for that person's line. You would then go back to your first caller, resume that call, and discuss alternative options with the caller. In a case where the user who is to receive the transfer call requires more information from the original caller, you can press Swap. This function places the waiting user on hold, allowing you to go back to the original caller to seek out more information. Essentially, you can swap or go back and forth between lines as many times as you require. You can press transfer at any point, at which time you will no longer be part of the conversation. Rather than swapping between two different parties, you can conduct a conference call when you want to have all the participants, each from different locations, speaking to one another at the same time. When you set up an impromptu conference call, it is referred to as Ad-Hoc Conferencing. Once you already have your first caller on the line, you would then press the conference button, which places that caller on hold. You then dial the desired extension of the third party who you wish to be connected to the conference call. You make the introduction to the third party that you wish to have them join a conference call. At this point, you will see the prompts tied to the soft key button, Conference, Cancel, and Swap. You may press the soft key or the designated conference button to join all the callers on the one call. Although this example is a conference call with 3 callers, there is an artificial ceiling that allows up to 8 callers on a conference call. The callers may be internal or external numbers, provided the facilitator of the conference call comes from an MCAP Cisco phone. It should be noted that ad hoc conferencing may pose certain inconveniences that the facilitator should be aware of. The nature of ad hoc conferencing is that the facilitator is calling each individual one by one, asking them if they wish and can join the conference call. Each time you make such a request, there is both time required to secure the confirmation, but also there is a chance the recipient may not wish or be able to participate. When you are attempting to create a call with multiple users, each successive user must remain on the line while this process is being carried out, which may be a frustrating experience or at least an inconvenience for some. So please be aware that ad hoc conferencing can be better conducted with appropriate planning and communication in advance of the call. Perhaps establishing a set weekly time with the regular participants so they can expect the call and will be sure to pick up the call in a suitable environment to participate. Alternatively, if the call is not a regular scheduled event, you could send out a brief, quick email to the participants informing them of the upcoming call, even if it is only 5 minutes in advance of the actual call. Another useful idea to make ad hoc conferencing more efficient and effective is to use the ad hoc approach in conjunction with an established conference call that has already been scheduled. For example, you have set a conference call with members of your team and a client. The invites have all been sent out and accepted for 3 p.m. You would like to have a few minutes with your team in advance of the call, and you know that your team should be available as they already set the time aside for the established call. In this case, you can set up an ad hoc conference call with your team 10 minutes before the established call. Simply leave a spot open on the conference for the client who will join in 10 minutes. This presents a most efficient use of your time in so much as you are able to have all the questions you need addressed in advance of the client joining, and when the client does join, in fact, your entire team is on the call and set to go. We have all been on a conference line where the facilitator spends the first 10 minutes of the call saying, "This person just joined, this person just joined," and then having to follow up with introductions. This approach mitigates that process. The point being, sometimes ad hoc conference calls are a necessity, but often we can use efficient and effective strategy to supplement the new technology provided by the phone system to make it most effective. To access your call history, press the Settings button and then press the Recents button to access the call history log. The prompts tied to the soft keys will provide the options Exit, All Calls, Missed Calls, and Clear List. Select the call list you desire accordingly. You can use the navigation button to select a specific call. You can then press the More soft key and then the Details soft key to see the call details from the selected call. If you want to view your redial list, simply put your phone on the cradle and press the down arrow key. To access your directory, press the Contacts button. There are 2 types of contact lists available to the user, the corporate directory and the personal directory. The corporate directory is likely the tool that users will use most often. It is easy to access and navigate. You can search using the arrows that come up on the screen, or you can search by first or last name. You need only enter enough fields before the phone will locate the person you are looking for. A tip: when using the corporate directory, less is more. For example, should you enter in the full name and in doing so make a typo or spell the name incorrectly, the name will not appear in the directory. Enter in only as much information as required to locate the person you are looking for and let the phone do the work for you. The personal directory is available to each user, however, is a less used feature due to the additional steps and maintenance required. The personal directory is password protected, so when accessing this directory, a login is required. The list of contacts that make up your personal directory are your own. Hence, you have to manually set up the contacts in your directory. Moreover, the upkeep of your contact list is also left to you. Should you wish to add, delete, or modify an existing contact's information, you must do that manually. To access user preferences, the user would press the Applications button, use the navigation cluster and the Select button to select Settings. From there, you will be provided with a list of numerous phone features. You may select any feature to view the present state of the feature or change it. Options include changing your ringtone, contrast or background of your screen, wallpaper, etc. If you were looking to view or edit your ringtone, you would select Ringtone from the menu. You would then press Exit, Set, or Play. You may press Play to hear a sample ringtone that you choose. Upon choosing the desired ringtone, you would press Set to apply it to the phone. Finally, press Exit to return to the settings screen. If you were looking to change screen brightness, again, press the Applications button, select Settings, and then select Brightness from the menu. To increase brightness, press right on the navigation cluster, or to decrease brightness, press left. Once you are satisfied with the outcome, press Save to set the brightness, or press Cancel to exit. If you were looking to adjust the font size on your screen, again, press the Applications button, select Settings, and then select Font Size from the menu. Press Set to adjust the font size, or press Cancel to edit. Moving on to your voicemail. As a recap, you may recall that there is an indicator light located at the top of the handset. The light strip will light up with a flashing light when a call is coming in, or a solid light when there is a new voicemail. The dedicated message button is used to dial directly to your voicemail system. To both enroll and set up your voicemail from your IP phone, you would press the message button to access the system. You will be prompted to enter the default PIN, which will be provided to you. At this point, the enrollment process begins. The system will ask you to please take a couple of minutes to make the following changes. You will be prompted to state your name to be recorded. It is important that you record your name when prompted. If you do not record your name, you will not be available to be looked up in the auto attendant search system. You will then be provided with the option to record a new personal greeting, or you may choose to keep the default greeting, which will incorporate the recording of your name. Please note, the system is only asking you for your primary greeting at this initial setup stage. The system has the ability to record alternative greetings and greetings associated with a specific circumstance. For example, being temporarily away from the office. But at this point, you will only be provided with the opportunity to record your primary greeting. Finally, you will then be given the opportunity to change your voicemail PIN. Your PIN must be 4 digits or more. Upon completion, the system will inform you of any voicemail messages that are presently waiting for you, and you may listen to them right away. To access your voicemail from the IP phone you are presently logged into, simply press the Messages button and enter your PIN when prompted, and press the pound key. If you are accessing your voicemail from an IP phone which you are not presently logged into, dial your extension and you will be directed to the voicemail login. Enter your PIN, then press the pound key. If you are accessing your phone from outside the office, dial your 10-digit phone number. When you hear your greeting, press the star key to interrupt the message. Then enter your extension, followed by the pound key. You will then be prompted to enter your PIN and then press the pound key. In addition to calling and/or logging in to retrieve your voicemail, you will be able to receive email notifications of your messages. Upon receiving a new voicemail on your office phone, you will receive an email which has an attachment allowing you to retrieve your voicemail via your email. So regardless of whether you have access to a phone to check your messages, you can now keep up to date with your voicemail via email. When you read the new message via email, your phone system will be notified that the message has been received and read. A read receipt will be sent back to your system, marking it as read on your phone. This saves the inconvenience of having to check your voicemail more than once. MyPhone and MyVoicemail are features in the new Cisco Unified Communications System that are available via a web browser when connected to the MCAP network. The MyPhone feature allows you to configure your Cisco Unified Communications via a self-care portal. Use your MID and password to log in. There you will see the phones associated with your name, as well as methods to configure your phone settings. You will also have the ability to call forward your phone, which is most helpful when working remotely or away from the office. MyVoicemail allows you to listen and manage your voicemails via a web browser. When using My Voicemail, you will be provided with the options to play back, delete, and forward. This concludes the training module on the Cisco 8811 IP phone. We hope that you found this module both easy to follow and helpful. If you have further questions about your Cisco phone, you may contact the IT service desk. Happy calling!